Well, this one's not at all what I was expecting. Today we are going to be checking out the Harley Benton ST20HH Active SBK. Let's get started right now. Welcome back to the 11th Fret, everybody. My name is Chris, and I thank you guys so much for joining me again on this next episode. Today is going to be something a little fun, something I don't see a lot of on YouTube, but I mean, there is a lot of Harley Benton guitars featured and demonstrated on YouTube. I mean, it's kind of a lot because Harley Benton is a brand that is affordable, very accessible, and it's just easy on the budget for any working musician because, let's be honest, most working musicians have no money. I mean, it's just kind of the truth. Especially when you're in your early 20s and you're spending all your money on bar scenes and what have you. Well, yeah, you have no money. But Harley Benton makes that accessible, and I am new to reviewing Harley Benton guitars, and this one showed up right before I went on hiatus, and I kind of put it away for a while, and I did play it for a minute. I did not set it up, though. I just kind of happened to pull it out, tune it up, and jam on it a little bit, then put it away for a little while until I had the opportunity to review it again. So this guitar that I'm going to be reviewing is all black, Strat style, double humbucker, three-way blade switch, one volume knob, and there's one guitar that kind of comes to mind when you think of those specs, and that is the Fender USA Rim Joot of Slipknot signature Stratocaster. It's pretty much identical. So for the sake of this video, this is not something that Harley Benton refers to it themselves, but it's something that I've kind of sort of off the books referred to it as, and that is the Rim Joot Stratocaster. When it comes to the Harley Benton version of this guitar, the Harley Benton version is very affordable. You can have it for less than $200 shipped to you, and that's referencing my location in Los Angeles, California, which is where they would direct ship this guitar to me from Germany. It's almost like $80 in shipping from UPS from Germany to me in Los Angeles, and your shipping costs may vary depending on where you're at, what country you live in, things like that. But as I'm filming this video, this guitar shows up for a measly $119. That's right, $119. So as you can see here, this guitar is pretty spot on to the Fender version of this particular build. Rim Joot, or Rim Joot, as you will, has his own version, and if you look at the Fender version, you are dealing with a bare neck, and this has a matte black finish on here, and this has the Harley Benton style headstock on here versus the Rim Joot version has the more oversized CBS style headstock on the top, which is personally a favorite of mine. However, a lot of things are very similar. Now, the Harley Benton version has their own active pickups in here. So we're looking at the HBZ pickups, not EMG. So in the Rim Joot version, you're looking at an EMG 60 and an EMG 81 in the guitar. This has the Harley Benton HBZ humbuckers, which, to be perfectly honest, sound amazing. The Harley Benton version also has a Hipshot style, not to be confused with Hipshot, but the Hipshot style hardtail bridge. And it's a string through body, so you can see on the back here, we've got strings running through the body, and we also have a battery box right here. So you can put a 9-volt battery to drive the active pickup circuitry that's in here. So far, pretty awesome, right? For $120 plus shipping, I mean, it's going to be less than $200. Let's be real here. This is kind of a really, really great affordable instrument. Now, looking a little bit further on the Harley Benton version, we are dealing with all black hardware, so these are non-locking Goto style tuners, not to be confused with Goto, but again, Goto style. Most likely Ping or something like Jinho, I would imagine, is what these are. Jinho makes tuning machines for practically everybody out there. So if you pull any lower end Squire or Ibanez, things like that, and you open it up, you might see Xenu or Jinho or JH on the inside of the tuning machines, and that's likely what these are. They're made in Korea, and they're actually pretty good. The Fender version has their own locking tuning machines on there, and yeah, that's that. On the front here, we are also dealing with one single volume knob. That's it, one single volume knob. And we got a three-way blade switch. This feels imported, a little on the cheaper side, a little fluffy, but you know what, it works. It does the job. However, if it were to fail in the future, it's going to get replaced with an Oak Grigsby switch, things like that. We got a boat jack here, facing downward, just like any other Stratocaster, and a glossy black pickguard, a matte black finish, and that is that. Now, drilling down the differences between this and the Fender version, besides the price, because honestly, let's be real, I mean, this is like a tenth of the price of the Fender version. The Fender version, which is made in the USA, in Corona, California, is $1,949 everywhere you look, if you can find one. So it's about $2,000 to pick up the Fender version of this. If that's worth it to you, that's awesome. If you just want to be able to scratch that itch and have something that looks like the Jim Root version, you could totally go this route as well. And you could even replace the neck for cheap if you really wanted to have something that looked closer to the Jim Root version. Or if you're feeling a little crafty, you could build your own Jim Mayer blackened sky if you want. However, there are still some key differences between the materials used and so on and so forth, so let's dive into that. This does not come with a case. The Harley Benton is without a case. So you'll need to provide your own case, and that could be something you just have lying around, something you find used on the used market, or if you buy something cheap, you might be able to find a case for like 80 to 100, maybe 200 bucks, depending on your retailer closest to you, or Amazon, things like that. And if you want a case, I'll go ahead and link a case down in the description for maybe a few cases for you. The wait time on this one is a little long, so we're looking at, I mean, I want to say they're going to be available to ship according to their website in like 3 to 5 days, but it might even be a little bit longer depending on the demand. So they will bring in a lot of these from China or Vietnam or wherever it is that they're having these things manufactured, and they will, they'll sell through them and they'll have to wait for the next batch. There might be a little bit of a wait on this, and you might be able to get a Jim Root, an actual Jim Root, a little bit sooner than this one. When it comes to the materials, the Jim Root, the actual Fender Jim Root, is made with a mahogany body, and this is made with poplar. Now, if you're buying into the whole tone wood thing, then that might make a big difference to you, but I'm still back and forth with tone woods. I know there's that Jim Lil video that talks about tone woods and so on and so forth, debunking the whole thing. But I am a person who believes tone wood does not matter whatsoever when it comes to high output pickups. So we're looking at these HBZ pickups that are in this guitar, and they're going to be high output, low noise, and sounding phenomenal. So I don't think the wood is going to matter at all. Both are covered in matte black anyway, so it's really not going to make that big of a difference. As far as the necks are concerned with this one, they are both 25.5-inch scale, but this one is a 12-inch radius. That's it. Now, the Jim Root version is a compound radius, a 16 to 12-inch radius. So that might make a bit of a difference, especially if you're playing leads. You want to have like a flatter radius up high to make it a little easier for you to do string bends and so on and so forth. But if that's not a big deal for you, then, I mean, again, a tenth of the price. Come on. Now, both feature a modern C neck profile, which means that the feel of the neck is going to be roughly the same. I don't have the Jim Root version next to me, so I can't really tell the difference between the two, but as far as specs are concerned, modern C is what was pegged on both. The Jim Root fingerboard is made out of ebony. It's just a nice heavy wood. It sounds great. You get a lot of bright attack to it. This one's made on like a treated wood, so it's I'm going to butcher this word. I want to say it's like Roseacre or Roseacer. I don't know. I don't want to say Roseacer. That sounds weird. But Roseacre is a thermally treated maple, or some people might consider it like a roasted maple. So it's going to be darkened. It looks like rosewood, but it is a maple fingerboard that's on here with whatever that word is. The Jim Root version does not have any inlays on the fingerboard, whereas this one has white dots. Both have 22 jumbo frets, and like I said, the pickups are also pretty different. So on the Jim Root version, you're dealing with the EMG 81 on the bridge, and you're dealing with an EMG 60 on the neck. These are just known as HBZ humbuckers. I don't know if there's any difference between the two, if they're interchangeable, things like that, but they're HBZ humbuckers, but realistically, I think they sound pretty awesome. As far as width of the nut is concerned, this is 1.65 inches across, which is the same as the Jim Root version, so you're not dealing with much difference there. And then as far as country of manufacture, this is made in Indonesia, whereas the Jim Root version is made in the US. Now, going a step further, Squier, which is Fender's budget brand, does not make this particular version. They do make some Jim Root signature models, but not in the Stratocaster form. This is the only cheap version or affordable version of the Jim Root USA Stratocaster that's on the market. And again, it's for less than 200 bucks. Realistically, I think it sounds pretty awesome, and I think you could actually build quite the banger out of this one. If you really were in, like, say, a Slipknot tribute band, but we're on a budget, you might be able to get into one of these things, plus get a replacement neck and some EMGs to throw into here and replace your own pots. You could have a Jim Root style signature for less than $500 with this as its bones. I mean, realistically, this is a very, very, very easy and very affordable guitar to start playing your gym root licks with. I'm not usually a big fan of active circuitry. I'm kind of like hit and miss with it. Sometimes I go back and think, no, those are pretty great. I should dive into those again. But for me, I am a vintage spec sort of person. So when we're dealing with tones like this one, I mean, it's pretty molten. That was the middle. That was both pickups. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I think it's really, really rich. Now, what I'm playing through, just to give you an overview, is a Marshall DSL-20 CR, which is the Marshall 20-watt DSL combo amp with reverb. And I've got the gain. This is the ultra gain channel, and I've got it set to 2.5. So this thing is just rich. Meaning, like, if you were to look at where the dial is on the knob itself, it's roughly translating to about like 930. It's pretty rich. Now, this guitar did come to me, and it didn't get any setup work done whatsoever, so the fret sprout feels non-existent. This is really, really easy. I don't feel really much there. I don't have the Philip McKnight glove to test out to see if there's any snags. I would imagine there's probably a couple snags, maybe right here. Maybe right here around like the 12th to 14th fret, I could feel something, but not enough to cut my hands, not enough to really care. It's all black hardware too. I mean, this thing is dark. It's just cool. Like, I like the way this thing is. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it plays. I know this is a maple neck, and it could probably go bare if you really wanted to sand this off, but this satin finish is really, really easy on the hands, makes it really easy to move up and down the fingerboard as well. And again, with one volume knob, you don't have a lot of controls to work with here. You could probably, I haven't taken this thing apart yet, but you could probably install your own switches in here if you really wanted to have more control. But again, one volume knob, no nonsense. Just hit that D chord. I mean, come on, let's be real here. Let's just do some heavy stuff with this. I like it. I don't know. This thing sounds pretty rich. It's no nonsense. There's not a lot of demos that really need to happen for this. I mean, like, you can hear just how grindy it is. Now, let's go ahead and just kick this over to clean. I have no idea what this is going to sound like right now. That is not very clean, is it? Now, what I'm running this through, this is Marshall DSL-20 CR, and I didn't really finish the signal flow. I'm going through a Sir reactive load into, what am I running right now? I think it's Pulse from Lancaster Audio, which is the IR loader, through Logic Pro, and I'm running a Blue Voodoo 4x10 cabinet running WGS Veteran 30 speakers, and that's just the impulse response that was captured. It's the one I've kind of agreed with this, with like the gain stage of this Marshall. Roll the volume back on the guitar. So the Marshall DSL-20 line doesn't really have a clean channel that anybody uses. I mean, there really is no clean channel. It's called the classic gain, which means that it's going to be like your single channel Marshall line, and you can do whatever you want with it. So I can crank the gain all the way up if I really wanted to and have something that's more classic rock, or I can turn the gain down to get something a little cleaner with a little bit of breakup in there. Very bright. Interesting. I don't know why I'm bothering playing smooth licks like that, because anybody who's going to be buying this guitar is not buying it for the clean signal, most likely. So here's the bridge pickup again. Now let's kick it back over to the other channel, to ultra gain. This is what people want. You buy this, you get some dirt. Oh yeah, this thing is a winner. I think this is a winner. This thing is a easy one to decide on. If you're looking for that heavy metal guitar that is going to inspire you and do the job that you need done, and you just want like maybe even a modding platform to create something on the cheap that's not $2,000, this is a guy right here. Because again, Squier is not making a lesser version of the Fender Rim Joot signature Stratocaster. At least not yet. Maybe down the road they might. But for the time being, if you want an affordable version, Harley Benton is your go-to place. Would I buy it again? I mean, realistically, if I was looking for a guitar like this, absolutely I would buy this guitar again because, I mean, this thing does the job. It really, really does. I'm not a big metal player. I don't play music like that anymore, so I don't really seek these sorts of things out. But would I absolutely recommend it to anybody looking for it, like a heavy metal guitar? Absolutely. This thing is no frills, no nonsense, no Floyd Rose system to have to tinker with if you're not into Floyds. If you've played with a Floyd before and you're like, why doesn't this thing stay in tune? Or why does my bridge lift up every time I change my strings? I mean, there's a lot of questions people have. You don't need to worry about that with a hardtail bridge. It's really, really, really simple. I think out of the box, it was set up pretty well. Fret sprout for me was not very bad. And I could definitely go for some intonation. I'm hearing some intonation issues here. So that's something I'll have to throw this on the bench. Or, you know, if you have bought this yourself or are going to buy this yourself, you could always bring it to your local guitar tech at your local music shop to have that set up as well. But if you want to take it upon yourself on something that's cheap and affordable, learn how to do it yourself. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there to learn how to do your own intonation. It's actually very, very simple. So again, yes, would I buy this? Totally. For less than $200, it's kind of a no-brainer, is it not? I mean, realistically, let's look at the other options you have. You can either go to your local music shop and pay about $400 or $500 for something maybe similar, or maybe $300 for another metal guitar. Or if you want something that's going to stand out from the crowd and give you that wow factor, this is the guy right here. So this is that part of the video where I have to remind you guys that if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell notification to be notified when I upload new content. And also, if you're returning, make sure you hit that like button. It helps the channel grow, spreads the message, gets it out into that algorithm. So again, thank you guys so much for returning. I appreciate you guys coming on back. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take it easy, everybody.